Um, okay, people. Um, Maybe we're not so cooked after all.
This has never happened before. One of the most anticipated games in existence was acquired by a AAA publisher, later canceled, that part we have seen before, and then was reacquired and resurrected by its original creators to immediate and overwhelming success. You could not write a more beautiful story, and it is one that I am so happy to tell you guys.
Uh-huh.
Hytale,
Uh-huh.
only 2 months after its reacquisition, has already released into early access to over 2.8 million players.
Okay. Damn. Wait. Wait, what? Wasn't Hytale that game that was it almost looked like Minecraft? But it was like isometrical? Didn't it get bought off by Riot? Let's learn some more. Let's learn some more.
2 months. They've only had the game for 2 months and they already hit 2.8 million players in one day. And
That's
it's likely
crazy.
more than that now, as even though the game is in early access, players are loving it right now. Yet
Uh-huh.
again, we have an unfinished indie game that's playing better and offering.
Same story, different book, right? Right, gaming industry? Same story, different book, right? Right, y'all still ain't learned y'all lesson, right? Y'all gonna keep on pumping out these quote unquote AAA games, right? Oh man, this always makes me laugh. Every time this happens, this makes me crack up inside. When are you guys gonna learn, industry? We don't care about your $80 billion video games. We don't care how much money you put into a video game and if it's not fun, if it doesn't grab our attention. We do not care. Okay? I want to see how bad Grand Theft Auto is going to do in numbers. Cuz when they come out with that $100 plus tax, 120 plus tax, ain't nobody go be buying that game. That game got to go free to play. That's why they ain't released it yet, because they see what's going on. That game go be free to play. I guarantee it. And if it's not free to play, it's gonna be too expensive for anybody to actually go and buy it. You AAA game companies, you will always lose to indie developers now. You are never going to win against the indie developer. Indie developers are able to rack in how many millions, right? My guy, how many? Tell me.
Already
Tell
released
me.
to tell you guys. Hired
Hold
and
on.
resurrected by its original creators to
Uh-huh.
immediate and overwhelming success. You
How
cannot
much?
write a more beautiful story, and it is one that I am so happy to tell you.
How much? How much?
Hytale, only 2 months after its
2 months. 2 months after his reacquisition.
has already
Uh-huh.
released into early access to over
Uh-huh.
2.8 million players.
Tell me again.
Has already released into early access to over
2.
2.8.
Okay, so I heard a 2. Let me write down 2. I heard 2 point. Okay, that's 2. Curve up here, go down right there, go straight backwards right there. 2 point, that's like a little dot right there. And then 8 is like an infinity, but it's standing up. Okay, let me do the infinity. 2.8. And what else did he say?
8 million players.
He said, anybody want to tell me how to write million in like a little sign? Like I know how to spell million, but how to write? What's the sign for million? Is it just an M? That's crazy. You AAA titles will never in your life touch this on release.
2 months.
You guys are done. You guys are
They've only had
done.
the game for 2 months, and they already hit 2.8
Cry about it.
million players in one day. And it's likely more than that now, as even though the game is in early access, players are loving it right now. Yet again, we have.
Can you tell me why they loving it? Please tell me why they loving it. Please tell me why they loving it. I need to know why they loving it.
Unfinished indie game that's playing better and offering more than AAA does. This never gets old for me. I've been playing the game myself, and while it's definitely early and it still has some work to do, it's good. It's really good. And the only reason that we hadn't seen this game sooner is because of the AAA expectations that were
Oh,
forced
yeah.
upon this game. It needed to be bigger. It had to be bigger. It had to be more than what it was. It needed to be on every platform. And then they brought in new management that pushed the original developers to the side, made these guys feel like imposters.
So what I understand is that we had this game, and it was amazing from the get-go. It was quite epic from the get-go, right? But then the AAA people brought in some of them people that don't know what the hell they talking about. You guys don't know what the people want. Stop acting like you do. I am so tired of this. But you know what? I'm not tired of it anymore because I love it when an indie game spanks that booty. I love it when an indie game spanks that tushy. I love it. I love it when a game makes the industry shake. My question is, how many more times does it have to happen before these AAA games get it? Before they understand. I feel like they're intentionally not listening to us. I feel like they're intentionally playing us for idiots. Idiots. And that is not okay. Keep going.
The guys that just released the game in 2 months are the
Uh-huh.
ones that were made to feel like imposters. Who
Uh-huh.
exactly is the imposter here?
That's what
what
I
we're
want to
going to
know.
find out today. While we're talking
Same.
about what is likely going to go down as one of the greatest comeback stories ever. But
Facts.
before that, today's video is sponsored by Boot. Somebody
Oh,
keeps that project on the
why
just
he
following
why
up
you
is
try to get me?
unchallengeable. People have been using the job.
Why
We
you
are
try to get
talking about
me?
a game
Hold
I am
on.
struggling on screen. Thank you to Boot.dev for sponsoring
right.
today's video.
All right, Boot. Yeah.
Guys, I am
thanks.
struggling to wrap my head around how any
Look
of
at
this is
it.
real. You know, when I first got into this job, I didn't know if there was ever going to be enough news for me to
Look
cover,
at
and I am
it.
proven wrong every single month. We are talking about a game
This
that
is
was
crazy.
pronounced dead. After nearly 10 years in development, Hytale was officially canceled.
The game was like dead. Dead? You dare speak of my name in filth? Foul odored filth? I arise from the ashes of a phoenix. Cloud does not have the phoenix down available for my level of rising out of the ashes. I am Hytale. That's what happened. I was there when it happened. I heard it with my own 2 ears. Okay? You cannot keep a good game down, people. You cannot hold back a good game from the public. You can never, ever shut down anything that is meant to be on the stratosphere that we are on to help the people. Okay? Hytale's the start of the revolution.
In the summer of 2025. The studio was shut down. Staff was laid off. That was supposed to be the end of it. And yet here we are a few months later. The game is back in an early access, and it's one of the biggest releases of 2026. So what the hell happened here? Well, it's probably best that we
Good
start
question.
from the beginning. So Hytale originated from Hypixel, the largest Minecraft server network in the world. Long before Hytale was ever
Facts.
even announced, Hypixel had already built what most studios struggle to: massive player counts, persistent communities, and entire game modes that were all running inside of somebody else's engine. At its peak, the network regularly handled tens of thousands of concurrent player numbers.
They use the engine of the game I will never play to make a game that I want to play now. Okay, let me repeat myself. They made a game from an engine from a game that I will never play to create a game that makes me want to play it now. Are y'all paying attention? Like, do y'all get how powerful that is? AAA companies, stop playing with us.
Set Guinness World Records for Minecraft concurrent player numbers and nearly 12 million unique users, and operated more like a live platform than it was a modded server. Hypixel wasn't just popular, it was proof that a small team of modders could run large-scale multiplayer systems, manage economies, support creators, and keep players engaged for years. That success is what made Hytale feel credible in the first place. It wasn't a pitch from nowhere. It came from people that had already done the work at scale in public for years. But the pivot towards Hytale wasn't driven by ambition or creativity. It was a very specific shift in control, and one that we are all too familiar with. In 2014, Microsoft acquired Mojang, and Notch, the game's original creator, exited the company. Not long after that, Mojang began enforcing stricter interpretations of Minecraft's end-user license agreement, likely at the behest of Microsoft. The core changes were not aimed at Hypixel specifically, but it was landing squarely on servers like theirs. Monetization could no longer include anything that meaningfully affected gameplay, which is kind of vaguely worded, which makes it a little bit difficult for some of these servers. Hypixel wasn't running any type of blatant pay-to-win schemes or anything like that, but they were operating complex progression systems, perks, and server-wide economies that Microsoft now claimed full authority over. They didn't want anybody else getting in on their action. Overnight, it became clear that years of work could be rendered non-compliant by a policy decision made entirely.
Microsoft, how could you? Microsoft, did you forget who pays your bills? Microsoft, did you forget who keeps you afloat? It's the people. What is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? Y'all ain't gonna never learn. Shout out to Hytale, man. Look, keep teaching us, please.
Outside of their control. Even if Hypixel stayed within the rules could change at any given moment. For a team that's running one of the largest multiplayer platforms in the world, built on somebody else's foundation, that just made it non-sustainable. So owning their own platform wasn't about greed or ambition. It was about survival in their case. And Hypixel developers would then announce that they were working on a new internal project that year. Fast forward 3 years later, and they drop an announcement trailer on YouTube to the tune of 62 million views. And it wasn't just because it looked pretty.
Look at the carrots. Let me find out. Hytale is like one of them like survivor/life skill/cozy MMOs with like some adventuring. Let me wait to look, Wednesday I'm downloading it. Wednesday, right? That's when I get funds. I'm downloading Hytale. I don't care. I do not care. I honestly think Bandai should give Digimon a survival base building cozy game, you know? But I think Bandai's afraid to use Digimon the way I would use Digimon, but we're not gonna go there. I love Digimon. Let's learn more about the Hytale situation. Let's get it.
Promising things that Minecraft simply did not offer out of the box. Built-in modding tools, proper world editing, custom servers, and an actual adventure layer with RPG-style combat, quests, and progression. This wasn't install mods and hope nothing breaks. Creation was the core of design, and that mattered because at the same time that this was going on, Minecraft was becoming more locked down and more corporate. Hytale was positioning itself as the opposite, a game where creators weren't working around a system, they were the system, and that's why a lot of people latched onto it so hard. Following the trailer in 2018, Riot Games would show interest in Hytale, and it made complete sense. The game just pulled tens of millions of views on YouTube. The community reaction was enormous. And
I think I remember hearing about it. Like on the first day this game released, like everybody was watching it. Like anybody, I don't think I was watching because I was streaming myself. I was streaming some Digimon World 3. But like, man, like when I got done streaming, I grabbed my phone and my notifications were going off about Hytale. So much that I was like, let me check this game out my dang self. You know? Let me check that game out. And it's crazy, man, how people try to hold back this game.
Could operate at scale. Riot initially stepped in as an investor, but that relationship would escalate in 2020 when Riot would...
No. You stop when I say stop. You stop. You pause when I say pause, darling.
Initially stepped in as an investor.
Look at it. Pokemon could never. Minecraft could never. Dory, is that you? Is that Dory over there to the right? That's Dory. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
Sure, but that relationship...
Nintendo could never. I'm sorry, Nintendo. You know you gotta catch strays whenever I talk about the industry. You know you gotta catch a stray or two whenever I bring up AAA games. Nintendo, you know I have a gripe with you. It's okay. Just know that you can never make a game this pretty. Especially when we're talking about Pokemon. What you're doing to Pokemon is a travesty. You need to let Game Freak make better games for you. If Gen 10, like I'm already done with you. You never. I'm not giving you money ever. You have one last shot with Gen 10. Okay, Nintendo. All right. If Gen 10 is trash, forget about it.
Would escalate in 2020 when Riot would fully acquire Hypixel Studios.
Yeah,
Now, it's
right
really
about
important to
them.
understand the timing here. This is a period where major publishers were aggressively expanding, buying new studios, and pouring money into long term bets. On paper, for Hypixel Studios, it looked like the best possible outcome: more resources, more stability, and the backing of a company that had already successfully turned a mod into one of the biggest games in the world. But this is also where the story starts to take a turn. After the acquisition, Riot began pushing for changes that
Man, I want to play this game so bad.
fundamentally altered what Hytale was being built as. One of the most critical decisions they made was the abandonment of the game's original engine in favor of a new one designed for better cross-platform ambitions: console, mobile, everything, everywhere, all at once. That choice meant that
Uh,
they were going to start over in very
I want to say something. I want to talk about this because I think that there's a major shift happening. There's a humongous shift happening and no one's really talking about it. Um, I don't think the idea of making games to be everywhere all at once on every single piece of equipment, I don't think that's the wave anymore. I think, yeah, well, okay, let me correct myself. I'm not saying games shouldn't be multi-platform on release or whatever. What I'm saying is when you are creating the game, do not make your game solely for the purpose of being everywhere and anywhere all at once. Let me break it down, okay? Let's talk about sports. Let's talk about skill-based activities. Sports, right? You know, I love Kobe Bryant, RIP to the GOAT, okay? Now, when Kobe Bryant is practicing his threes, do you think Kobe Bryant was thinking about his free throws? When Kobe Bryant was practicing his dribbles, his handles, do you think Kobe Bryant was thinking about the best way to pass the ball? The greats don't become greats because of some magical DNA or pulling a sword out of a stone or like some mumbo jumbo magic spell. That's not how greats become greats. All right? Greats become greats because they know how to hone in on one thing to build their craft. They hone in on one specific detail at a time until their craft is built better, bigger, stronger, one more step towards perfection. And guess what, AAA industry? That is what you need to do. Slow down. Stop. Get some help. You know what I mean? You need to actually focus on one thing at a time. I am tired of hearing, "Oh, this is gonna be a game that's made for all different." But how about you focus on polishing out your little characters? Can we check on the writing of the script, please? Can we make sure that the game is gonna last? Can we polish? Can we work on our craft really? Like, and then when you feel like you got the best product ever, man, when you feel like this product is like the best you will ever do, that is when you start thinking about how many platforms you want to put it on. We need to change how people are making video games and how they're presenting video games. Because it's not, we're going to be doing the same thing over and over and over again, man.
real ways, flushing nearly 3 years of work down the toilet. And just as importantly, the game's original selling point, being built for modding from the ground up, now became harder and harder to realize. Now, at the same time, scope didn't narrow, it expanded. New features kept getting added, new mechanics, new ambitions layered on top of a project that was already being reassembled piece by piece, which then sent them into development hell. During this time, Riot was also pushing for studio expansion, bringing in new management to lead Hypixel Studios, and this is where internal trust finally started to fracture. According to Hytale's former IT lead, the problem wasn't subtle. Hytale, what could possibly go wrong when you hire new leadership that thinks the original team is incompetent?
Oh,
The
no.
whole project ends up going in circles until it dies. The community should be angry at the mismanagement that stole the opportunity for
Exactly. I love how good Hytale is, But I think the community that put exactly how I feel about the situation in perfect context. I think that the fan base should be irate. I think the fan base should be I freaking rate at what they did when they acquired Hytale. Making the original people feel like they're not good enough. Stalling the game, changing the engine, changing the leadership on the project. For what reason? For what reason? Y'all trying to take people's products and then claim them as your own and be them stand there as a champion. Like, oh, I thought about this. I thought about. No, you ain't taking nobody's credit, boo boo. You ain't taking nobody's credit, boo boo. We should be irate. We should be throwing chairs, flipping tables. We should be throwing hands and elbows. We should be burning down things. We should be irate.
For Hytale to flourish. And alongside that technical and managerial breakdown came something more personal. Simon was very open about how the pressure changed the way the team saw themselves. In his own words, then I think the pressure of having the Riot Games label plus mega viral trailer, bigger funding, and higher expectations made us all doubt ourselves back then. On a personal level, I couldn't live up to the new higher expectations and was given an option to leave by Riot. The team was so good that I felt like I was an imposter at that point. That line matters because it explains why so many of the developers didn't just leave, they stepped aside. The project that they were confident in shipping suddenly felt like it wasn't enough anymore. What had been moving fast and imperfect now had to be flawless, universal, and future-proof. And under all of that weight, the people that gave Hytale its identity were slowly pushed out of the center of it. At that point, Hytale wasn't failing because it lacked money, talent, or ambition. It was failing because the structure around it began to suffocate it. So it came as no surprise to anybody that after 10 years in development, Hytale was officially canceled in the summer of 2025.
That's wild,
That should have
man.
been it. I mean, we've seen this kind of story play out 1,000.
So Hytale just should not exist. That's the crazy part. We should not have Hytale right now. Okay. All right. This leads me to believe that we may not be cooked. As gaming enthusiasts and video gamers, we may actually have people that are fighting for us within the industry. Let's see what else happened. Like, how did this game come to be? Because we should not have it.
Times by now. We're likely going to probably see more stories similar to this that are going to play out because indie games just keep getting more popular every single year. I mean, look at how quickly things flip for these guys. The entire idea of Hytale was to build something from the ground up for modders and creators first. That's what they were trying to do. And then right off the rip, that just gets thrown out the window because the game has to be multi-platform. And why does the game have to be multi-platform? Money. Because it's not about the game anymore. It's about how many wallets that game can reach. I mean, isn't Riot the company that had $500 skins in League of Legends at some point? Maybe they still do right now.
Shots fired. Oh, man. Okay, look, I used to play League of Legends faithfully. And yes, they went crazy with the skins. But I do want to say this. I was a League of Legends player for so long. League of Legends was my core game for a while, right? It's like the game that I woke up, played a game before work, after work, on the weekends. I woke up before I even brushed my teeth. I played a couple games, you know what I'm saying? Brush my teeth, make some food. While I'm eating, I'm in a game. I'm hanging out with my friends on Discord. Guess what I'm doing? Playing League of Legends. I'm in a game. You know what I mean? I'm clickety, clack, clickety, clack. You know what I mean? Hitting my skill shots, all that, playing off meta and comp games. People used to hate my guts. You guys ever seen a Nard jungle? That was me, okay? Yeah, they did have those skins. They were very aggressive, but that game was really good if you just stayed free to play. Don't get me wrong. After a while, I bought some skins, but I was not touching that $500 skin. I bought the cheap skins, and then they put in-game currency in there for a little bit before they just recently changed it out. There was some in-game currency, and if you just forgot about the in-game currency and just played some games for like a year or 5, you racked up some currency. So I was able to log in one day and just get a ton of skins for free. Skins that I was not supposed to Oh man. Anyways, yeah, they were aggressive. They were aggressive with their skins. And then come to find out they tried to take Hytale from us. I used to be very excited about the Riot MMO, but now I don't care after this news. This is crazy.
No. After that, they bring in professional management. It's a AAA game after all, so you got to have those kind of guys around. And Riot's also trying to chase the next Minecraft. So once those guys come in, once those industry professionals take the wheel, the next thing you know, the scrappy indie modding team of developers that made the game, that created this game, are brushed aside, drowned out, overwhelmed, all because they don't have the pedigree.
It's not because, okay, I guess from one perspective you could say it's because they don't have the pedigree. I'm gonna say this for gaming developers, indie gaming developers, the same way I say this for indie music artists. Stay indie. Stay independent. You do not need these big companies backing you to sell your product. You can sell your product. We have the internet. You can create a social media profile as an indie developer, get online and promote your game for a year every day, or 6 months. Or you know what? Promote it until people start asking for a release date. Go live every single day until people start asking for, and they're gonna know they like the game because you are playing the game as you're promoting it. You're holding lives. You're whatever they call it on Twitter when you go live, whatever they call it on Instagram. You're on all social media. You're just playing your video game. You're gonna get a large crowd because people are gonna be like, what the heck is this? They're gonna invite their friends and people are gonna watch you play your indie developed game. And they're gonna be like, when is this coming out? After a while, they're gonna demand it. They're gonna be like, yeah, I need this game right now. How much is it? Where is it coming out? What system is it for? Stop relying on these huge companies that's gonna try to take your idea from you. Just like I tell the people that tell me that they do music, stay independent. The only thing, though, you know what's funny? Because you can just upload your game to Steam. You can upload your game to Steam for a price and be like, yeah, we don't have a distributing company, so we're just going to upload it to Steam. Sell it for like, depending on the quality of the game, anywhere from like $29.99 to $60, right? It's up to the indie developers to stop this $100 gaming industry. But at the same time, y'all gotta move smart. Y'all gotta move smart. I know that there's a typical way to do things. I'm not against the typical way. I mean, I'm not non-privy to it is what I'm saying. Like, I know there's always a typical way to get something out. But I'm telling you, if you really believe in your own product, you don't need a AAA company to try to take your item from you, your IP from you, your ideas from you, your creative art from you. You don't need them just to get on shelves. You can put yourselves on shelves. Just like I tell artists, you don't need a record label. What do you need a record label for? What does the record label know about you and your music and your art more than you do? Get online. Go to stores. Get yourself out there. That's all they do. The only thing they do that they have their hands in these places that can get your name out there. That's all they got. But if you have your hands in places that you can get yourself out there, you don't need them. Then we all have the internet. Let me stop rambling.
As a result of that, the game just slowly withers and dies. But that's not where the story ends. No. These developers, they took a stand. They knew their game. They loved their community. They understand what they had. And they believed in their game. They came back for it. They reacquired it. And they did the one thing that AAA can't do. Release the game. After Hytale collapsed under Riot...
Do you hear what he just said?
They reacquired it.
They reacquired their game and did the one thing AAA titles can't do. Release.
And they did the one thing that AAA can't do. Release the game. After Hytale collapsed under Riot, people started asking
Damn.
Simon a simple question. Is there any chance this comes back? At first, his answers were basically no. He was honest about it. He said that he had the money to maybe run a 30-person development team for a while, but under Riot, the new studio had ballooned to over 150 people. He wasn't sure that he could handle or even wanted that kind of responsibility anymore, and he talked about just wanting a quieter life and just being done. But of course, the community wouldn't let that go, and eventually, after
So wait a minute, that's the guy that owned Hytale. So does that? Wait a minute, because I want to know how much they bought Hytale off of him for. Because it seems like this is oh no, I hate my brain. I hate my brain so much. Okay, wait. I think he's pulling a fast one. All right, all right. This might and I could be completely wrong. I'm just a YouTuber. Don't come at me. But if someone acquired your game, that means they paid you for it. Right? Isn't that how that goes? Like they bought it from you or whatever? So what was the bag? What was the bag? And then for you to buy it back, that's what did you do to get the money to acquire it back? And then you release it, and it's a cash grab. You made a lot of money from the release, just the release itself. What is the? Oh, let me shut up. Let me stop talking.
quieter life and just being done. But of course, the community wouldn't let that go, and eventually, after enough people kept pushing, he finally cracked, and he laid out exactly what it would take to make this all possible. No corporate hedging, no PR language, just a blunt and personal answer. I get it 100%. I'm even down to put $25 million by myself to finish Hytale. No Kickstarter, just raw passion, high pressure, and high risk. Reduce
How'd you get that 25 mil?
scope, legacy engine, PC only first, small team, cut unfinished features, get players in ASAP to support development. I even already have a dozen legacy engine veterans working with me. I haven't reached out yet. I'm just thinking about it now. This would impact all aspects of my life, so I need to talk to my family first. And crazy enough, that is exactly what happened. Now, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Riot Games could have easily just hoarded the IP and let it rot. This industry loves to do that all the time. Instead, after talking to multiple buyers, they chose to sell the game back to Simon. Now, once the deal closed, everything started to move fast. Simon immediately began rehiring original developers, the people who had worked on Hytale before the Riot era reboot. Within weeks, the game was already rebuilt around the legacy engine, and just 8 weeks after reacquiring the IP, Hytale launched into early access, not as a perfect game, but as a playable one, built on a foundation that already worked with new assets, progression systems, and tools that were being folded in as development continued, hitting 2.8 million players on day one and likely more since then.
2.8 million players in one day? Yo, AAA titles, stop it. You're done. Stop it. Stop it. You're done. You don't know what you're doing with video games. All right? Like, I'm done watching this video. We even gotta continue. This right here alone, this tells it all. We don't even have to get, I am so, look, no. No, you guys got some splaining to do, okay? Seriously. 2.8 million in one day is crazy, man. You guys are terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. You know how.